Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let me get a thumbs up in the chat box if you can hear me. Thumbs up in the chat box if you can hear me. Again, the phone lines are open. Let me see if I can put that number up there so you can go ahead and call and get in line while we, try to get everybody in here. Phone lines are open. If you want to call and get your place in line, please do so. Please do so. Matter of fact, while we're waiting on that, we'll pour up a little purple Kool-Aid, for the midday and get it popping. So let me pour up. Y'all hear it? Yes, sir. Get this refreshing purple Kool-Aid before we get started on today's topic. Cheers. Speaking of, if you want one of these, which you see myself and the guys on the round table have, join the Gunslinger tier of the Patreon. And once you do that, it'll be on the way. Go over to patreon.com/sip-the-tally. And the different tiers are already set up. But if you want that purple Kool-Aid glass that you see us using on Mondays, and Will G's on the way, and Yolanda B's on the way, and I need Tyrone to respond to my email so his can be on the way. And you too can have yours. I got new shipment on the way in. So join the Patreon, become a Gunslinger member. You can also have yours too. And you can see the list of other perks that go along with the different tiers. We got 3 or 4 tiers set up. Let's give a few shout outs before we get started. Will G obviously is here. JB, Don Mingo, Clot, always here. Hendo, Roll Podcast. Cheers, Hendo, my fellow Roundup member. Who's that? I called you KK. I think it's Karuga Coinage. If I said that wrong, charge it to my head, not my heart. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Who else we got? Jeremiah, appreciate you. Agent E, what's going on? So, what'd you say, Clock? How do your students feel about you being a Ravens fan? It don't really bother them, man. These kids these days don't really care. If it don't affect them personally, they don't care. But I don't advertise my channel to them either. So some of them know I got one. Like most of my old football players know I got one because we watch different stuff after school to, just kind of show. Like I show them random moss and stuff like that, so they know I got a page because of that. But I don't really promote it with them students, because I just don't want them in here. It's a grown folks lounge. They can come once they hit 18. Like I don't even have my channel set for kids. So like I don't think my channel even go to kids. But again, that's what we got coming up. Join the Patreon if you want to do so. If you want to donate another kind of way, there's a pinned comment. You go there, hit that. It'll take you to my Stream Labs page. You can donate that way. The Cash App will be up later. And then there's also PayPal. So got the formalities out the way. Let's go ahead and get into the show. So first thing up, our Jane Doe comment of the day. Jane Doe comment of the day. And today it comes to you from JB. And JB says, and obviously the topic is what to do with that number 1 pick. What to do with the number 1 pick. Excuse me. He says, if one of the top 5 guys are there at 22, and he's referring to wide receivers, JSN, which is Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Johnston from TCU, and Hyatt from Tennessee. You get them. If it's a situation where the first round receivers are gone, trade back, pick up another mid-round pick or 2, and take a cornerback or one of the second round grade wide receivers at the end of the first. Cornerback at 22 just doesn't sit well with me. All the investments have already been put on defense, especially in the secondary, which it makes a lot of sense. Because I think it was Hendo said it last night. Or somebody said it on the show last night that we got those guys. We got Jalen Norman Davis. We got Pepe. What happened till we like our guys? Just like you said that on offense with Prochet and Tyler Wallace. You said we like our guys. What happened to we liking our guys and letting them play on defense? Shouldn't be a double standard, but it is. Now, do we even trust? Do we even trust DeCosta to even make suitable draft picks? That's another question. Do we even trust him to take the pick and make a good pick and not miss? With that being said, let's take a look back. Let's go back in history a little bit. So this is 2020. First round pick, Pat Queen. A lot of people were thinking he was trending toward bust, but third year, showed out. It was playing good, and then when Roquan came, played even better. Let me take this off so you can see the bottom of the list. Give me a second. All right, there you see the bottom of the list. So you got J.K. You hit on J.K. The jury's still out on Matabike. The jury's still out on Matabike. The jury's still out on Duvernay. Malik is headed toward not so good. Tyree's out of there. Bredeson's out of there. Prochet, y'all know how I feel about Prochet, but I'm the only one that feel that way about Prochet. Not a factor. Geno's still there. Don't play a lot. Really not a factor. If Geno was a factor, we probably wouldn't have drafted Kyle Hamilton, but it is what it is. Next year, Rashard Bateman. Got to stay healthy. He's effective when he's there. Not healthy. Got to be available. All right, the next pick. He had 2 first-round picks that year. Adafe Owe. Trending toward bust. But this will be his third year, and maybe he can turn around like Queen did. But as of right now, in my eyes, he's trending toward bust. Being Cleveland, a guy that I thought should start last year, but didn't come into camp on time. Didn't pass the conditioning test when he did get to camp, and I think that put him in the doghouse for most of the year. But then when he played, I forget what game it was. I think it was Pittsburgh. He played right guard the Pittsburgh game, and J.K. went nuts the game he played. Him and Tylen Wallace was comboing and getting guys out the way, and then he went right back to the bench. Brandon Stevens, yeah. Wallace, yeah. Wade didn't make it past preseason. Dalen Hayes didn't make it past preseason. And why in God's green earth did we draft Ben Mason and we already had Ricard? All right, let's go one more step further. Last year, Kyle Hamilton showed up toward the end of the year. And like Hendo say, he don't dislike the player, he disliked the pick. He don't dislike Kyle Hamilton, he just disliked Kyle Hamilton at 14. But toward the end of the year, he started balling. He basically one of the guys that got thrown in and had to learn by fire. The Miami game, they torched him. Whether it be blowing assignments or just not being fast enough to realize the game was too fast for him. Tyler Linderbaum, certified baller. I had my doubts about Linderbaum because of his weight. Certified baller. Like, could be in that position for the next 10 to 15 years. Linderbaum is a dog. Certified. Stamp it. He's a dog. Ojabo. Obviously, Ojabo was hurt. I only saw about maybe 10 snaps all year, if he saw that. If he can get back to what he was before he tore his ACL or Achilles, whatever it was he tore, you should have a formidable edge. Should. And I say should because Owe is part of that should. You should. Travis Jones is a dude I thought would be better than he was, but he was solid as a rookie. But I need him to take that next step and take over for what Calais is leaving. What Calais left behind. Falele, so big to be a tackle. He's kind of too big to be a guard, but his footwork ain't good enough to be a tackle. So where are they going to work him at, in that situation? Jalen Norman Davis, we don't know yet. Charlie Kohler was hurt most of the year. Stout, the punter, whatever. Likely is probably the best one up here out of those 4th round picks. Let me see. Likely is better than Travis Jones, better than Ojabo. Probably better than Kyle at this point. I'd say the only rookie on the team that likely is not better than is Linderbaum from this draft pick right here, from this draft class right here. Pepe Williams, was in there with Jalen Norman Davis. They got to we like our guys, let them play. Let Pepe, let Jalen Norman Davis play. Forget trying to go sign another person. Use that money on offense. Use that money for Odell or whoever's out there. Or you help the trade or whatever. Something. And then Tyler Batty bet on himself. He got tired of sitting, on the practice squad. He decided to void my contract. I'm out. Went to Denver and went off the last week of the year. So, do we even trust EDC to make a good pick at 22? That's what we're going to look at. Let me see. Let me get myself up here. Switch to me. All right. Let's see. Let me switch over here. Give me a second. When you run it all by yourself, you got to take a minute. You don't want to mess up and show something you don't need to show.
The conference has been unlocked.
See, when you're doing it by yourself, you mess stuff up. I done had the phone line locked the whole time. So if anybody tried to call in, I just unlocked it. So I apologize. So I'll talk us through this. Let's go back to that list. Let's talk about some of these draft picks until I get some calls in. That's on me. That's my bus. And I knew it was bound to happen. Players mess up. I had it locked, and so nobody probably can get through. But now it's open, and I apologize for that. That's on me. Let me see. And I knew it was bound to happen one of these days. Everything was going so smooth. It is what it is. All right, there we go. Back up. Let's kind of go through 2020. Pat Queen, we talked about. JK, we talked about all these guys for the most part. The thing is with EDC, let's go back to last year. So you take Kyle Hamilton at 14. Okay, fine. Kyle Hamilton's supposed to be a generational guy with his height and his range and whatnot. And he showed incredible range versus Florida State, and he was okay in other aspects of his game. But that Florida State game, playing center field, you licking your chops. Go back and look at them two players versus Florida State. Licking your chops. He covered a lot of ground. And then he was solid. And then he's like 6'3", 6'4". So it's tough to kind of pass that up. Should we have passed it up? I think so. But we didn't. All right, cool, fine, whatever. So then you come back at 25 and get Linderbaum. You hit that one out the park, EDC. I give you that. You hit that one out the park. Linderbaum, again, I spoke on it a minute ago. He's going to be tough to get out of that center position. I just hope that we invest in Linderbaum when it's time to invest in him because he's solid. For real, like legit solid. I think he's going to take over in the next year or two and be the premier center for years to come. Let's see, Brandon says, I don't see much changing until EDC can bring in his hand-picked coach in. Brandon, so do you think Ozzy and Harbaugh is holding EDC back? That's a good point. You think Ozzy and Howard is holding EDC back? I ain't never look at it like that. I go back 2019 in a minute, though. 1 second. I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna work backwards. So you get to this second round pick. David Ojabo, who tore his Achilles or ACL at Pro Day, which happened around this time in mid-March or early April. And you pick a guy that's injured that that's probably not going to play that much. Keep in mind, we're in a Super Bowl window. And you traded Hollywood. So you need a receiver. And this pick is always going to haunt me because this pick should be. What up, Deloach? Appreciate you coming through. What up? One of my former players coming through. Appreciate you. This should have been David Ojabo. Not David Ojabo. This should have been George Pickens. All day long, this should have been George Pickens. Or some other receiver. Just a receiver, period. And we wouldn't be completely in the situation we in now. Completely. Because you got a guy here that's hopefully, if you pick Pickens, you got a guy that you can throw 50-50 balls to. He don't have to be all the way open, but he gets open. And if you don't believe me, just look at the catches he made versus us. He didn't get a lot of targets. This year, which he wouldn't have got a lot with us this year, but he made the most out of them. Out of his, 40 some odd catches, he probably got 10, 15 highlight plays. 10 to 15 highlight plays. What up, Sonny? I ain't seen you in a minute. My guy Sonny, SCG Sports. Good to see you. Good to see you. And then just any receiver here would have helped us out. And we wouldn't be as in bad of a situation as we in, because obviously you got rid of Hollywood and you replaced him with somebody. But I would have preferred Pickens, and I think most of the flock would have preferred Pickens right there, because he was still on the board at this pick right here. Then you go with Travis Jones. At the time, we had some interior guys, but we did need some youth, so I can understand that. And for the most part, a lot of people had Travis Jones with a second round grade, late first, second round grade. I personally thought this was the best pick in the draft. Well, the best pick out of our draft. So, I eat my crow on that. It ain't turned out like I thought it did, but he didn't suck either. But he wasn't great. But he a rookie, and he got got better as the season went on and got more snaps and whatnot. Jalen Norman Davis and Pepe, it has to come in and we like our guys. You got to let them play. Now, if they were hurt and you trying to bring somebody in, I understand, but you got to let them play. You got to spend your resources on offense. And we talked about this yesterday, about does defense win championships. Matter of fact, how many defensive guys up there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 11. Okay, so we spent most of the draft on offense. You got Linderbaum for Lele, 2 tight ends. No, 5 and 5, because you picked a punter. So it's 5 and 5. Both. All right, let's go back a year. Go back to 19, like Hendo mentioned a minute ago. We're going to go to 20 first. Oh, I don't have 19 up there, so I would have to go print and whatnot, but we ain't gonna do that. Rashad Bateman, address the need. Hollywood needed a number 2. You picked up Bateman. Bateman was injured when he first got there, didn't play much. Then when he got back, Lamar got hurt, so it really wasn't a lot of continuity with Hollywood, with Bateman, with Mark. Because I think Mark had like 12, 13, 1,400 yards that year. Oway, as Big Reg called him, no way. Odafe, no way. He just ain't showed up. The most we've talked about Odafe Oweh is when he got a half a sack with Calais and kept Calais from getting that bonus. That's the most we've talked about with Odafe Oweh. He had a half a sack and kept Calais from getting that bonus at all. And I agree with you, Hendo. There's no way we should have kept 6 fourth-round picks. When we missed out on a wide receiver in that, in fact, let me go back because I don't want to talk while the different ones up there. These 4, 1, 2, 3, 6 picks. 2 or 3 of these could have been packaged to move up in round 2 again or round 3 and go find us a receiver. Last year's receivers class was nuts. It was nuts. This year is not as stacked. It's some guys at the top, but it's not as stacked as last year. Keep in mind, last year Pickens went after David Ojabo, and David Ojabo was at 45. Crazy. But again, some of these picks should have been packaged and moved up, because we could have done without Kohler, or we could have done without Likely. Either one. Not because we didn't know Likely was going to be what he is. Could have done without Jordan Stout. Could have found something. Obviously could have done without Batty because we ain't even using. So you could have packaged some of these and whatnot. Because you got, if this is 11 picks, I'd say you hit on 4, maybe 5. And then the rest is yet to be seen, but most rookies are yet to be seen. You hit on Kyle because he came on toward the end of the year. Your number one banger that you definitely hit on is Linderbaum. Ojabo's wait and see. Travis played okay. Falele ain't enough of a picture to even talk about. Jalen Norman Davis didn't look good in the snaps he got. Pepe looked okay. But, he technique-wise, he was a little overzealous and going for balls instead of worrying about technique. Pause. And then Isaiah Likely, we know what he could be if the offense allows that to happen. And then, like I said, Batty just bet on himself and got up out of there. And then went and balled out week 17. So, again, that's what it is. Moving back. All right, let's finish this 2020, and then we'll kind of close this thing on out. And again, it's my fault for having the phone lines closed. I apologize. Again, players mess up. So, what's a call-in show when the phone lines locked? That's crazy. So, go with Pat Queen. I think Pat Queen was a hit, personally. But y'all know I'm a Queen stan. A lot of y'all not. I understand. JK coming off his surgeries. And this is what's interesting about JK. When he was down, when he came back, his vision was on a different level. So just wait till, or not wait, but hopefully his physical attributes, meaning his speed and his ability to be able to cut and whatnot, comes back. Because if that does, with the vision that he showed while basically playing on a leg and a half, it's crazy. Because all them games toward the end of the year before he had that second surgery, that was that little cleanup surgery. He was basically dragging that leg. That long run versus Pittsburgh, he got out of there about 15, 20 yards, and he'd take a step, and it was like he was pulling that leg. He'd take a step and pulling that leg, but running. Minka caught him so fast, and then Minka even understood what was going on and tackled him, and then tried to make sure he was all right and tried to help him up until the rest of his teammates got off and kind of pushed him out the way. So it was his effort was great, and I love JK for that. I love his personality too. Matter BK, him and Travis Jones got to fill holes. Him, Travis Holmes, and is it Washington maybe? They got to fill holes in the middle. Got to. And Urban. I know Urban's an older guy. Got to fill holes. Malik is do or die for you, Malik. This could be you and Queen's last season in Baltimore. Queen because he's gonna price himself out, and Malik because you just ain't do nothing. But Malik may have opportunity coming to draft. Because in 2 weeks when the draft happens, 3 weeks when the draft happens, my dude may be gone. Then that's a spot open for Malik to try to get in there and play that other linebacker position. Because it's serious consideration from the flock, not from the pundits, but from the flock, that Patrick Queen may be gone for a second-round pick, and that'll open the door for Malik to play more. But he's going to have to compete with John Ross, who's already there. And I forget what other linebacker we have, inside linebacker we have, other than Roquan. You know, obviously Roquan going to start because he's the $100 million man. All right, we got somebody on the phone line. Let's run through it. Let's see who over there. Take them off hold. Team, what's good with you? Yellow.
What's going on, kiddo? How you doing, dog?
I'm good. What's good with you?
Chilling, man. Just on the grind. You know how we do, dog. You know how we do, man. Just want to. It's an interesting topic you got going. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but barring, we just gonna assume that Lamar comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see them go receiver this year. Unfortunately, I don't know that that you're going to get the impact guy this year. Of course, you never know with these guys. I don't know if they're going to get the impact guy this year that you would have got last year. Because if you look at 22, I don't know if the receiver from Ohio State or Addison is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about drafting, if you draft Zay Flowers, if he's there, because he's from what I hear, he's been shooting up a lot of guys' boards. Is that going to be a little bit of a redundancy with what Hollywood was when when Hollywood was there? And so it's almost like it's almost like the Ravens are a year too late trying to get that number one guy, because I don't even see any of these guys being as good as any of the guys last year in Olave and Garrett Wilson and Drake London and all those guys. You know, or even I don't even see a George Pickens in this. Correct me if I'm wrong, or George Pickens in this draft, and he went in the second round. And even so, say for instance, if there's a run on wide receivers this year, do you draft Jalen Hyatt that higher, or are you reaching for Jalen Hyatt from what So I would like to see them do receiver with that number one pick, but it just might not be. I don't know if it's going to be somebody there. And do the Ravens have ammunition to move up? So I would honestly, if there is a guy that you can go after, I would say move that pick and trade for established veteran. But even the young dog veteran receivers are locked up.
Yep. You
know, so it's like who could you go get? Because you're not going to give a number one for D-Hop. I mean, he might end up getting
cut.
So yeah. So it's like it just goes to show you don't want to. I don't want to be. You already talked about last year's draft. But to take 6 guys in the 4th round and not, I mean, you could have packaged up your number one and maybe 2 of those 4s to either move up to get one of the top guys or even package up, if they like the Jabo so much, package up two of those 4th round picks to move up and take a Jabo in the 2nd round or move up and take him in the 3rd round. 'Cause I'm not even sure.
I don't think nobody else is going to draft him. I don't think nobody was going to draft him that high.
Achilles.
Right.
Not in the 2nd round because as you know football, you 2nd round picks you need those guys to be not star players, but starters.
Yes.
Guys who can contribute. You know what I'm saying? So usually third and fourth and fifth round is more your developmental guys,
Mm-hmm.
but you need impact guys. You know, so like I say, I would like for them to get Lamar Weapon if he resigns, but I don't know if there's going to be a guy there that they can take that's going to give them what they want at that position.
Gotcha. And I got the list of receivers up there that I felt like were the top 10 guys, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at that top five. The top 5 on my list right now is Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zay Flowers, Josh Downs, Jordan Addison, Jalen Hyatt. I don't know if any of those guys will be there at 22.
Yeah,
But I do like Mingo, but I don't know if Mingo's a first round guy. But then again, we don't have a second round.
No, you don't. And the thing is, but people were saying that he might even go in the fourth round. I just don't. I mean, I commented on one of your videos. I don't see why more people aren't higher on him. It's like he looks like an A.J. Brown clone. And to me, A.J. Brown should have been a top 10 pick the year he came out.
Yep.
And nobody talked about him being a top 10 pick. And he's shown that once he got out of Tennessee, he actually gets the target. He's a top 5 receiver in the league, basically a running back that can run routes.
Exactly. And Mingo is built just like him.
Mm-hmm.
Built just like him.
It has the production to go with it. That's why I don't understand why people are so low on those Ole Miss receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if they had a second round pick, I would say even take him in the second round because you just never know if he's going to be there in the third round. Because you know nobody ever tells the truth with these guys as far as the draft is concerned. But yeah, it's unfortunate because if they take a corner in the first round, they're taking 2 corners last year. That's malpractice.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And
drafting 2 tight ends last year when you already had 3 tight ends on the roster was malpractice last year. No matter how good likely he is, I mean, you already had 2 guys ahead of him.
Yep.
You know, so and there's no telling whether Monken is even going to like any of the tight ends that are on the roster other than Mark Andrews because he's going to want to bring in guys to fit his system. So I mean, you hate to beat a dead horse. Last year's draft was just not as good as Hamilton and Linderbaum are.
Mm-hmm.
Centers, you can find a center, you can find a safety.
Yep.
Unless you draft an Ed Reed or Derwin James, which I don't know if that Kyle Hamilton is that good.
Right.
You don't need to draft a guy a safety that high. And Linderbaum's a dog, but unless he's the center from the Cowboys, who's all pro every year he's in the league, you don't need to draft the center in the first round.
Or Kelsey.
Center is right.
Mm-hmm.
Center is one of the easiest positions in the league to draft. Center, safety, and running back, because those guys are just you don't have to be uber athletic to be a center like a tackle, and you're not really guarding. You're not really having to protect against the best athletes on the field, which are the edge rushers. Yep. Most of those guys are you know, there's not many Aaron Donalds.
Right.
You know? and one thing, this last thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna push, and I'll let you go, Coach. I'm going to have to push back on Metabike, man. I like him. He kind of reminds me of those the 3 technique. I think he's in the wrong system. I think if you put him in a
4-3,
put him as a 3 technique in a 4-3, he's a double digit sack guy. And I think if the Ravens don't pay him this year, they're not going to be able to bring him back. Somebody's going to give him $10-15 million because he can stop the run. He can rush the passer. He just doesn't really get those opportunities.
What I'm hoping to see is him at like a 3. And Travis at like the 1 on the other side, and let Travis take the double team. See if he can win 1-on-1s with Ojabo and whoever the other edge person is on the other side. I would love that 4 versus somebody else's 5 up front. I'd love to see how that works out. You know, mostly because I think Travis can get to the point where he can command double teams. That's going to help out Matabike or Urban, whoever's at that 3 technique. And it's definitely gonna help them edge guys get 1-on-1s. And then if the running back got up and help block, then that helps the DBs cover, you know, with the running back in there blocking. So it all kind of it works together.
No, it definitely does. And when he's had the opportunity and actually got the playing time, I don't know if they don't like the way he practices or maybe he rubs some coaches the wrong way.
Matabike or Travis?
His snap count, Matabike. I know Travis got he took his knee in the beginning of the season, and then they started bringing in vets to Harbaugh. He likes his veteran guys, so he's gonna play better. And vets are gonna play better than rookies,
right?
So they're gonna trust them. But with I just think that Matabike, they need to let him play and leave him alone. And I think that you're gonna. I'm not saying he's Warren Sapp or Aaron Donald,
Mm-hmm.
but he's a better version of Booger McFarland when he was down in Tampa. He can get you 8 to 10 sacks a year.
Yep.
From what I've seen from the film study that you guys have seen, he just doesn't get the snaps because they were giving them to Campbell and a lot of the veteran guys.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, like you say, they'll trust their guys and let those guys play.
Right.
And hopefully they'll trust their guys and let Pepe and Jalen Armour Davis play and spend the resources on the offense. I just don't see that. I don't know. I just don't see that guy in the draft that we saw last year, where you had 4 or 5 guys that came in as rookies
Mm-hmm.
and were 1,000-yard receivers, or I don't see a Justin Jefferson or anybody like that in the draft. I could be wrong. Addison could be one of those guys. I don't see it.
I think the guy that has the biggest potential in this group is probably going to be Addison or Flowers. Because we don't, some people, and I'm not a huge fan of anime, but I know they have like different forms of the characters or whatever, and they like have a final form. I don't think we've seen Zay Flowers' final form because of he played in a crappy system on a crappy team, and I think once he gets to a quarterback that is decent and getting a system that can feature his skill set, I think that's something going to be awesome because he can do it all.
Yeah.
He can do it all, and he ain't pigeonholed to inside outside because he got burst too.
Yeah, he kind of. I see a little bit of AB in him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not really an expert. I watch. I'm not an expert film watcher like that. I just watch the content you guys put in. You know, I'm a football junkie, but I do see a little bit of AB in him. But I mean, of course, you can't judge that based on college film.
Because AB was what,
coming to the league,
5th, 6th round?
Yeah, he's 7 round. I think he was a 6 or 7 round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, they had him. There was a reason why, because he was a good talent coming out of Miami, but he ended up at Central Michigan because he was a nutcase.
Right.
I know people who played up in the MAC against him, and the dude, he was good. He had all the talent in the world. It just is one of those things to where he just was,
So basically, he been hiding that nutcase all this time. It ain't just show up. He been a nutcase.
No. He has. That's one of the reasons. Because you don't have. The thing is, because you can go back and look at his combine. He had a good combine.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was invited to the combine. He had a good combine. He just, it's just like you a coach. Some guys just don't. They have all the talent in the world, and you don't want to have to play them. But it's like you have to play them. You just hope that they don't blow up on you. And one of his worst things he could have did was leave Pittsburgh, because Mike Tomlin was able to get all of what he could get out of him.
Right.
And once he got out of there, he got exposed. And trust me, you see what he got us a Super Bowl down here in Tampa, but he blew up on the last person that actually believed him. Got him 2 opportunities at 2 different stops.
Sure did.
And he basically gave him his butt to kiss.
Yeah. And you don't do the GOAT like that. You don't do the GOAT like that. That Brady is NFL royalty.
Right.
So,
but it was all kind of rumors down here. But that's a different story for a different day, though. But I appreciate what you do, Coach, man. I always love chopping up with you. It's a great show, a great topic.
Appreciate it.
I'll probably call you back tomorrow.
Okay. So that.
All
right. Let me pull this up on the other side real quick. Get me back up here. Appreciate him for coming through. So what I do want to do is, matter of fact, let me put this back up here. All right, because that's the last call. And again, we only had one call today, and it's my fault. I take the blame. I eat my crow. As we go out, and I'm gonna leave the this picture up here. I'm not gonna end the stream yet, but I'm gonna leave this picture up here. I'm gonna turn my mic off. I'm gonna give you guys like a minute. Put in the comment section, in the chat box, and if you're watching later, put in the comment section who out of these 10 guys or somebody else that you think the Ravens should draft at 22. Who from this list, put it in the comment section or chat box if you're in here now. Who from this list or somebody that's not on this list that you think is better should the Ravens draft at 22. Again, if you're new, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. If you're chatting, you had to subscribe because it's subscribers only. And I do that to keep the bots out. The the sex bots will come in and say, click this link to go, whatever. So, but since I've been doing that, I haven't seen a bot yet. So that's what that is. And I appreciate you guys for coming through. Again, there's merch at my store. The link for that is in the description. Also, if you want the Sip the Tally mug that we'll be drinking out of, the Sip the Tally chalice as we've called it, be a Gunslinger member of the Patreon. That's how you do that. And again, if you want to be featured in the comment of the day, the Jane Doe comment of the day, when I put the topic up for tomorrow, go up under that topic in the community section and post your answer. That's how you get to be featured, on tomorrow's show. I'll pick one of those and go from there. Now, I will say going forward, I don't know if it's going to happen next week or the week after that, but we'll start picking winners. So everybody that is a Jane Doe comment of the day, they're going to go into a hat and we'll start picking a winner. And that winner is probably going to get a coupon to purchase, something off from the Jane Doe website. So that's what we're going to do. We're working on it. It's in the works. And, I'll let you know once that becomes active. But everybody that has been featured as a Jane Doe coming out today, up until we get it, when that time comes, your comment, your name will go in that hat. And that first drawing will probably be big. So your chances of winning that first drawing are probably going to be slim. But once we started getting it going on a weekly or monthly basis, whatever me and my executive producer decide to do, we're going to go from there. So, again, I appreciate you guys for coming through. Day 5 of Ravens Daily. And again, I screwed the phone up. That's all me. I'm put myself up here. That's all me. I screwed the phone up. Was talking and still had the phone lines closed. But today we're going to end it right here. I appreciate you guys for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me for about 40 minutes. I just dropped Devon A-Chain on more Sip the Tally. That's where some more of the draft videos at. That's the speedster running back from Texas A&M. Just dropped that before we started. And I'm out, people. I'll be dropping, let me see if I can say his name right, Abanaconda from Pittsburgh, the running back. I got about 4 or 5 plays I'm going to talk about on that. I also got who tape I really like, Tajay Spears from USC. That'll probably come up tomorrow. And I just downloaded before we started. Who did I download? I forgot just that fast. See how my mind works? But it's another running back. And again, that's coming soon. Peace, y'all. I'm out. Don't forget, drop your names that you would like the Ravens to pick up in the comment section or in the chat box. I'm finna go through them and look at them right now while I got you on the end screen. Let's see who we got. Quentin Johnson. I can rock with Quentin Johnson. JSN probably gonna be gone, even though I really like his tape. The perfect guy for me is Hyatt. And not that I would expect him to come in and get a ton of catches or a ton of yards, but I think we need a blazer. I know we got Duvernay, and I don't know how Monk is going to use Duvernay, but I think we need a guy that's going to make you play too high safety. We get a guy and Quentin may be that guy too, but if we get a guy that can make you play too high safety, our run game will flourish. Because we got a good run game as it is. And we have a good run game with 10, 11 people in the box. So imagine if you got to have 2 high safeties, and so that's at least 9. And then you got a quarterback and you play a 9-on-9. You can't play man because if Lamar's back, we're gonna assume Lamar's back, and you cover everybody in man. You with your back turned, he gonna run. Play zone. I think he's a good enough passer to pick the zone apart. Not saying he's perfect. We just need a guy that can make you play too high safety. And we don't have people to make us. We've did all that good stuff in the run game with safeties in the box. So just imagine if we had guys that could make you not play, too one high, cover 1, cover 3, or cover 4. Cover 4 is too high look, but you got them middle safeties as edge guys. So that's still basically a run box, a run formation. Eagles made our scheme look. They did. Jalen made it look easy too. Jalen, when he would run the ball, his lanes were so wide open. But that's because he had weapons. You had to respect Devontae. You had to respect AJ. You had to respect Goddard. I think they tight end. So now with all that, they playing against. You know what? Their offense is what our offense look like. Now did you say that? because people were playing him too high, and Jalen had run lanes for years to run, and he's nowhere near the exciting runner as Lamar. But because his lanes were so wide open, he got yards. So appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna get on out of here, and I enjoyed the show, enjoyed the day. And again, I messed up. I take blame for it, and I'll see y'all soon. Again, I'm out. Don't forget to check out those videos on More Sip the Tally. Check out the videos here on Sip the Tally Films. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the other members of the Roundup. That'd be Rogue Podcast. That'd be OTR Open Mic with OTR Mike. That would be Ring Kings Podcast, Lunch Break High Take, and Deep Cover Podcast. Now we got other guys out there too. Ing Raven, Raven C. My guy Sonny was in here. I don't know if Sonny's still doing regular content. Who else? We got new guys. I can't remember the name. The Flock, was it the Flock Nation? I think Flock Nation is the guy. We got other guys out there too. But we'll see y'all soon, man. See y'all tomorrow at 4:30. Don't forget to check out the videos. Another video's coming out later today on More Sip the Tally. So go over there and show More Sip the Tally some love, because of More Sip the Tally, we for the streets.